today we are going to be chatting about threads by Instagram. And this is definitely something that kind of caught a lot of people off guard. I personally wasn't really aware of it until a couple of days before. There's even some social media people that I know who weren't really aware that it was coming out and it was going to be a thing. So in today's live, we are going to be talking about, should you be using it? What is Threads? How you can use it? How you can get more people over to your Threads profile and all that kind of stuff. I know nothing about Threads, but I'm a Twitter user, not for business though. First heard about it on Radio 1 a couple of days before. It kind of feels like a mix of Twitter and Insta though, no hashtags. Yes. Threads has already proven a nightmare for my ADHD. I just brain dump. My customers are seeing a new side of me. Now, on that note, that is why Threads for me is, I know it sounds dramatic, but it is really this new era of social media content. There's loads of people that are saying they are kind of almost forced to be authentic, to kind of show up with this, I'm just going to say whatever it is that's on my mind right now. Now, the reason why, I mean, I'm going to go into and obviously I will say that this is literally, I downloaded it Thursday, like everybody else. So as of recording this is the knowledge that I have of the platform so far. But let me tell you that I have never seen such an easy follower growth for a lot of people, okay? Not just business accounts, it's just, I don't know whether the algorithm is still learning. I mean, it's not going to be surprising because obviously, AI and everything, it's probably still learning and picking things up. But there are a lot of people who commented on my threads and said, it's the first time I've ever found you. So from what I can see, the algorithm is very much like they will look at people that you follow and they will look at what they interact with and they will show you what the people who you follow interact with. So that is why it's seemingly looking like that you can get growth rather quickly because there is none of this relevance and newness. It's very much like if you're friends with Becky likes Lush, you're going to see Lush in your feed, right? Now not all of the Lush posts, but the ones that your friend Becky has put a comment on. Now that was very, very very obvious from literally probably from Thursday to Friday. I was seeing lots of comments from people like, well, I don't follow these guys. Why am I seeing them in my feed? And it does seem like Threads has kind of done the old-fashioned algorithm where it's like, okay, if you like this and you follow people like this, you're probably going to like what they like as well. Whether it will stay like that is another question. You can't search keywords, just people accounts. Yes. And there's no hashtags either. I'm still personally going to be using hashtags because I feel like Instagram is the absolute queen of hashtags. And I think that maybe at some point they might start to introduce them. So I'm still going to use hashtags that make sense. Let's say if you're doing a thread that says, I am getting lost in Threads, hashtag bored. I'm still going to use that, but it's not going to be like a hashtag business, hashtag craft, hashtag, it's not going to be like that, but I'm going to still use them where I can because I just feel like hashtags are going to become a thing. Becky says, a question, is Threads useful for product-based sellers as well as service-based? I'm going to get into that because I did get that question. And if you follow me on Threads, which I will try and put my handle at some point in, it's just Handmade Bosses, so it's not that deep. But I did get that question and the answer is yes, but I think you have to be an early adopter. I'm going to talk more about that in a bit. It's very new, so easy to gain followers now, but I anticipate it will become like any other social platform very quickly. And there'll be lots of sponsored posts. Yeah, so Zuckerberg himself has said that he's going to wait until there's 1 billion users before he puts ads on there. Ads will be coming, there's no doubt about it. Ads will be a thing because if a platform is free, you are the product. So rather your attention is the product. So there will be ads coming soon. As for whether it will be harder to gain followers, I don't know, because of how the algorithm's working right now. I personally think that it will just be as easy or as hard as you make it, really. If you're putting out threads 5 to 10 times a day and you're getting engagement on those threads, you are going to grow. A bit like any other social media platform. If you're posting once a week on Instagram, you're not going to grow as fast as maybe someone who is posting 3 to 5 times a week, if that makes sense. So I think it's going to be, again, like any other social platform, it's going to be you get out of it what you put into it. When signing up, you can integrate who you follow on Instagram. What I'm seeing is who they're following and commenting on, so very easy to follow. Yeah, see, that was the case the day it launched. However, I was seeing a lot of new people coming in that had never followed me before. And that was a general consensus from people in the alumni group who were kind of like testing it out, is that yes, it is very much like you will get people because they'll see, oh, you're on Instagram, and then they go on threads, then you get like put forward onto their threads. But because of how the algorithm works, it is so simplified that at the moment, and this is why it's really important, if you're going to use it and you want to use it, and you might be on the fence, and that is absolutely fine. Like, I'm never going to like shove it down your throat. But if you want to be an early adopter on something, the last time there was a disruptive platform like this was TikTok. And if you were an early adopter on that, and your target market was on the platform, it was actually pretty damn good. So that's why I'm kind of getting in there early and kind of showing up and giving you guys all of the information that I know, because if you decide you want to be on the platform early on, then this is all the kind of stuff that you need to know. A few things that I have noticed is clickable links in comments. Absolute game changer. Obviously, as you know, you can't really put links on Instagram apart from stories, apart from your profile, and on Reels. Apart from that, Instagram is a bit of a bummer when it comes to putting links on things, which if you're a product-based business, that's a pretty big deal. You're kind of relying on everyone watching your damn stories all the time to, get a link out there. But Threads has links in comments and in threads. They also do allow you to put your link in profile as well. So that's just another thing, is that having links is a big deal. Like, that for me is a game changer, because as we know, Instagram doesn't allow you to do that in the comments, right? You can obviously put your URL and like expect people to manually type it. But studies have shown that if you've got that, the chances are that the conversion rate of that link is going to be so slow, because you're literally expecting people to go, okay, www.rebelfoxcrafts.com/. People are not going to do that, right? So that is one thing. Community, for me, this is the big thing, is that this is like a Facebook groups light option, okay? So from what I've seen is that they are really pushing building community, okay, which is why they encourage you just to share off the cuff things, which is why this platform is great, okay? So community building in terms of people that follow you on threads are going to get the artist's stream of consciousness thoughts rather than the curated videos, feeds, pictures that you see on other platforms, right? And this leads me on to my next thing, which is, if you are the kind of person that has tried over and over and over and over again to curate a social media feed, to plan your social media in advance, to have a strategy, to really, like you see people that will plan their feeds out, and they'll have like this color and that color. And if you're not that kind of person, Threads is definitely a bit of a game changer, okay? If you have an ADHD brain, or if you have so much on your plate that you just can't really think that deeply about, oh, is this content gonna convert? Is this gonna do this? Is this gonna do that? Then this is definitely a really great platform for you. Now, the reason why because a lot of people were like, well, Steph, I'm already on Twitter. Like, why would I need to be? Now, the thing is that the general consensus about Twitter is that not only is the character limit, I think it's 320 or 280 or 360 characters. I can't remember. If someone can let me know. But you get like a shorter space on Twitter to be able to put your thoughts out there. On Threads, it's a 500 character account. Not only that, but Twitter has got a lot of negative connotations, so much so that I've spoken to a couple of business owners that have said their customers have just left in their droves because it's like cyberbullying central. There's like negativity, the news is on there. And if you're like me and you don't watch the news for various reasons, it's kind of like shoved in your face. Now, also the fact that Twitter defaults to the not for you tab, but like the general, like, if you want to say explore tab, is also something that really annoys people because they're kind of like shoving all this content down your throat that perhaps you don't want. So that's just like my 2 cents on the Twitter thing. I have noticed a lot of like people on Twitter personally, when I've looked and critiqued Twitter accounts and stuff like that, there's not a lot of buying people on Twitter, okay? Probably because of the negativity around it and all that kind of stuff, right? Whether Threads will eventually get like that, I don't know. They're starting on a very positive foot. They're already starting to be like, we're not going to put up with this and that, and it's very positive. Whether it will stay like that, honestly, that's like, how long is a piece of string? It might do, and hopefully it will. Now, also, my social media manager has written down in capital letters, huge reach. Okay. So again, that is what I'm feeling like. My threads have got quite a lot of engagement for not a lot of effort on my part. So there is the possibility of having a huge reach on there as well. Easy follower growth. Again, like there is no complicated strategy that you have to follow. It's basically pretty much the more you thread, the more followers that will see your post, because then more people will come onto it. They'll get shown on their feeds. You'll get more comments. So the kind of general consensus is that if you are posting high quality threads that promote discussion, that promote engagement, that really kind of build that community aspect of things, that is when you're going to start to be shown in the feeds of other people that are then going to come over to you. Okay. So also as well, the whole thing about, not having to carefully curate a feed is your brand and personality, tongue twister, is going to come through on Threads a lot more than it is on, say, Instagram, especially if you never post on there, right? So I think that Threads is a great platform, but it depends on the kind of person that you are. Do I recommend that every single person watching this goes and signs up now? No, I don't, because it really depends on, and it, the thing that I've always said, it stays the same. Have one home hub, have one place where you build your home hub, where you build your tribe, right? So that is definitely something that you have to consider, okay? If you don't want to be an early adopter, if you're just like, nah, this is just another thing, that is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're killing it on Instagram, you're absolutely doing fantastically on Pinterest, you might not want another thing to add to your to-do list, right? But bear in mind, it's not as big or as bad of a to-do list on Threads than it would be on Instagram, because Instagram, you have a lot of things to think and contend with. You've, like I said, you've got reels, you've got trending audios on said reels, you've got stories daily, multiple times a day, you've got your posts, you've got the hashtags to think about, and in amongst all of that, you've also got to somehow curate an aesthetically pleasing feed. So it's kind of like, and when I kind of sat and really thought about this, Instagram is kind of like Pinterest, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all rolled into one, because you've got to have captions that convert, you've got to have hashtags, you've got to be quite witty in the captions that you use, you've got to have aesthetically pleasing pictures, videos, right? And the production quality that I have found on Instagram over the last year especially has got to definitely be higher and better than other people on there. So that is definitely something that I found. Now, another thing with threads is I did a whole bunch of tests, and actually, funnily enough, when you have pictures and videos, because I saw a lot of people reposting Instagram content, and I tried it, and actually reach is a lot lower when you add a video or when you add a picture. Now, like I said, that's as of recording this, that might have changed. But when I did loads of tests, it was like, yeah, if you actually, and it's like so counterintuitive, right? If you add a picture or a video to your threads, reach will be lower, which says to me that they are really pushing this whole thing about it's a text-based platform, stream of consciousness kind of stuff. And really, it doesn't matter if you put the thread out there and maybe it doesn't do as well. You can do the next one or the next one. Because you're doing it so quickly, it's kind of like doesn't really matter. Whereas on Instagram, you've probably spent a week planning one reel or a week planning 3 posts, and if those posts don't do so well, that's a lot of time, effort, energy wasted. I also really like as well, and if you're someone who's a bit who doesn't really like the whole filter based society and filter based content, I I really dislike the fact of I go onto Instagram and there's a lot of you guys, and I know because I've spoken to you guys one on one, a lot of you watching, that you get scared. You don't want to show your face. You don't want to put a foot wrong. You're really conscious and scared of putting your true self out there. And that's what I feel like Threads is starting to try and unravel, pun intended, trying to unravel this whole desperately created social media feeds, to in favor of this, like I said, this whole stream of consciousness things. So yeah, it's very much the upshot of all that is it's very much looking at authentic content building rather than, and this is the number one thing that I want you guys to take away from this, is like I said, if you are the kind of person who is so scared of people judging you or putting a foot wrong, or you want to filter the hell out of everything you put out there, then it's very much like a good platform to start with. And maybe even if you haven't got like social media at all, and maybe you don't have Pinterest, maybe you don't have Instagram, maybe Facebook or Instagram is like the one thing, it might be a good idea. I'm not saying to sign up. Actually, what I would say is to just maybe plan like a month's worth of threads just on like a Google Doc or something like that, right? Just to kind of get the ball rolling. I plan to use threads as more reactive and live posts. Perfect. Similar to stories, but a bit more off the cuff. Yes. Sharing behind the scenes, thoughts, works in progress, etc. Posting whenever I feel rather than scheduling. Yes. And that is absolutely perfect. Like that is what threads should be used for. I also really like the idea. I mean, it's hard because personally, from my point of view, my stories are very off the cuff. Like I very rarely edit them, even if I feel like a bit of a plonker. I will just post the story, and if it doesn't do well, it doesn't really bother me all that much. But I do know that there's a fair few of you watching that are very worried about putting a story out and it not going down so well. Also, as well, there is, and there always has been, such a thing as social media dependent on your personality type. Okay. I hate writing. I when I wrote my book, it was like hell on earth. I could not sit down to type out a chapter. I found it really, really hard. I love doing this. Like, I love lives, I love video, I love doing voice notes, I love being a little bit more off the cuff. This is why I personally really enjoy threads and Instagram stories. I don't really like Instagram posts. I don't really do a lot in the way of reels. And if I do, they're not like me doing this malarkey. It's just me doing this, right? If you are the opposite of me, if all of that sounds like hell on earth and you're like, no, I really like to write and I really like the idea of blogging and I like to sit and read a book or write a book and that's my dream to one day write a book, then you might be more suited to threads, because you've probably got more of a witty brain that is going to come out with these off the cuff things, right? It's a text-based version of Instagram, but when Instagram first came out, it's tricky because I would disagree with that. There's not a lot in it. I don't think they want you to post pictures. They give you the ability to. I think it's just because it's a basic thing. I mean, for crying out loud, at the moment, they don't even give you the ability to edit your threads. Like, once you've pressed enter and it's gone, you have to delete it and start again if you've made a spelling error. And that, I think, is another great move for them to not censor yourself. And I think that's what this whole platform is that it's very much, we want to free people from the realms of, okay, I'm going to post a comment out and I maybe don't get as many reactions as I think, or I get a negative comment and I'm going to edit it. Like, it is very much anti-edit. It's very anti-curated. It's very much off the cuff. And the reason why I think it's great is because authenticity is the key word. Like I said, am I recommending it for everybody? No. And the next question that I'll answer whilst I'm waiting for other people to put questions in is, how does it help product-based business owners? Well, here's the thing, is that when you are an early adopter of a platform such as Threads or TikTok back in the day, or, you know, God knows whatever else it is, right, is that you then become, and you start to actively use a platform. Don't just create an account, put 1 or 2 threads out and be like, yay, I'm done. No, you've got to keep on it. You've got to keep pushing. Yeah. The fact of it is that at the moment there is a lot of businesses on there because everyone's going, oh, I need to use threads, oh, I need to do this, and there's a lot of business owners on there. However, that's how it always happens. Business owners are the ones who are like, oh, I need to be like on there really, really quick, right? Then it takes a month or two before your average Joe customer will start to come on over to Threads. Probably most of the people that you speak to at work or you speak to in your household might not have even heard of Threads yet, and that is completely normal. But the kind of way that you ideally want this to work is to build up some kind of content, I want to use the word bank, content bank, so that when people eventually do find you on Threads, follow you, etc., there will already be a bunch of threads on there for them to scroll through and read through, and kind of a bit like the pinned post, I guess, on your Instagram account. You've got to make sure that it's getting your personality across, right? So yes, for the first 1 to 3 months, it's gonna be very B2B, very business heavy. If side note here, if you guys do sell business supplies, you do B2B, you need to be on there, because seriously, there's a lot of business owners already on there. But like I said, within 1 to 3 months, it's going to filter down to the masses. I don't know what else to use there, but the masses, which is where your customers will start to come on board, right? So you want to start to kind of build that thing there. You want to start to build that content bank, so there's stuff on there for people to scroll through when they eventually find you. Now, the reason why it will potentially work for your product-based business is because the algorithm is so simplified, and the chances are, if you sell bridal jewelry, right, and Mandy likes a thread of you trying to name your latest bridal jewelry necklace piece, whatever, you know, you've also got Mandy's getting married. You've also got Mandy's best friend who's also getting married in a year. You've also got her friends, cousins, sister. And can you see how the chain then continues? That seems to be how the algorithm is kind of working right now, is that it is saying, okay, if this person, like I said, if this person likes this thing, then the chances are that their friends is also going to like this thing. right? So that is where it's really going to win for product based businesses. Okay. Now, the other thing as well is that, my God, is it going to be one of the best platforms to build that know, like, and trust? And I actually got an Instagram comment from someone who's like, I don't understand how this is going to help me. And like I said, like, the only way it's going to help you is if you use the platform effectively enough. And I'm going to be doing lives and videos and updates and stuff like what I'm doing now as I find more things out. But the fact of it is that because it's off the cuff, because it's authentic, you are building that know, like, and freaking trust like there's no tomorrow. And I don't know about you guys, but traditional marketing methods, like if you go onto a big brand's Instagram account, Tiffany, Pandora, Marks and Spencers, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, you will see that their reach is gradually declining, gradually declining. Why is that? Well, it's because people these days want to build that connection. They want to build that know, like, and trust. They want to be able to buy from someone who they kind of know a little bit, who they kind of like. And that is why influencer culture has become huge, because they are literally taking what the masses, what your customers, what your audience is hungry for, and using it to sell products. Okay. So, what does that tell you? Well, that tells you that people, like I said, people want to build that connection with you. And this is again why Threads is going to be really, really good. Is it going to be a platform where you hop on, you're on there for 2, 3 months, and you immediately get sales and traffic? No, it's going to be that thing that you build. It's going to be like that compound interest bank account that every day you put a little thing, you put a little thing, you put a little thing, and it will build and grow. Becky, for example, what could I do a thread summarizing a latest blog with a link to my blog on my website? Yes, perfect. Well done. Love it. Yes, you can absolutely do that. If you blog, Threads is going to be great because you can literally take like a little paragraph from your blog and be like, read the rest here. Or you could like put well, something that I did is that I answered a frequently asked question from a comment in a thread, right? Yes, yeah, 100%. That is really, really good. So content ideas, number one: what 3 words would you use to describe yourself and invite your audience to do the same? Now, one thing that you will see when we're going through content ideas and stuff like that, you will see a lot of the time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna invite the audience to tell me what they think. So if I'm gonna say, I really hate pizza, but I really like cheese, tell me your thoughts. It's literally you're inviting the person to come and give you their thoughts, right? Leah says, how do you use Threads for selling products if you can't use a photo? So you can use pictures. It's just from my experience, the reach isn't as great. So Leah, again, it's like it's building that know, like, and trust. It is, you're not going on there to sell products in the first 1, 2, 3 months of you using it. You are going on there to draw back the curtain and build, again, I'm going to say it all with me, that know, like, and trust. You're going to show and shine your authentic self on the platform. So it could be, what are you doing today? What are you drinking? What are you working on right now? What's your favorite colors? What's your favorite media as an artist and why? What brand of paint do you use and why? What do you get most excited about painting? Do you take custom orders and why? Why not? What's been your favorite piece this month and why? It's not going to be that place where you show up on week 3 and start spamming the hell out of your feed with buy my product, buy my product, buy my it's not going to be. In fact, there's no social media network really, or platform rather, that is going to be receptive to that, because that's not necessarily what social media is for. Yes, you can sell your product, but it should not be a push, 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 push. Does that make sense? So it's very much, you can put pictures on there. And there's nothing stopping you from doing so. It's just when you're at that building stage of trying to get followers in, trying to get people in, something that I've personally noticed is that videos and photos don't get as much reach. Okay, content ideas, full threads. What 3 words would you use to describe yourself? Invite your audience to do the same. What main 3 things you need to make your creations? Your funniest creation blunder. Guess your business with 3 emojis. Invite your audience to do the same. You can also do a post where you're like, something like what I did. If you guys saw on my threads, I was like, I want to follow amazing handmade business owners. Who should that be? And I invite people to put their handles in. You could also do something along the lines of, I'm going to describe my brand colors in 3 emojis, or my brand vibe in 3 emojis. Emojis are great for threads. I have seen a lot of reach. And again, like you'll see that I did test this out on my threads, is that I did some threads with no emojis and some threads with a shed ton. And the ones with emojis got the most reach. I don't know whether that's like a brain color theory thing or whether that's like a algorithmic thing, but that's what happened. Threads idea. What colors should I use in my next make? Yes, perfect. You could even get people to do a naming competition. You could even get people to guess their business name by using the first 3 letters of each of the names in their business name. You could do coffee or tea, pizza or chocolate. If you could only order 1 takeaway for the rest of your life, what would that be? What's your favorite color? Post an emoji and I'll try and guess it. Can you see what I mean? It is so much less important, like when you are on threads, for you to have this, like I said, perfectly pruned and preened and primed feed than it is on threads. Threads is very raw, it's very honest, it's very authentic, and I think that's one of the best things that I love about it. What are we feeling about giveaways right now? I've not seen anyone do any. I don't know. I have to dig into the threads do's and like the T's and C's. I don't know if you can do giveaways. I would recommend it. Whether or not they're going to like it at the moment, I do not know. So yeah, there is that sort of thing. How often to post? I think 3 to 5 times a day would be perfect. At Home with Annie says you can use it at very early stages of new products. Yes, perfect. At Home with Annie, you've got loads of ideas. I love it. So you are definitely someone who is 100% suited, like, to threads, because you are someone who's literally on the comments as we speak going, oh, I could do this, and oh, I could do that, and oh, I could do this. I've seen one account do a giveaway, 1 winner on threads, 1 winner on Insta. Yes, I just don't know if it's something that the T's and C's allow. That would be something that I recommend for you guys to dig into. I'll see if I can dig into that. Maybe for the next time we do a threads live, I'll try and like come up with a few ideas. But there's nothing stopping you from doing a naming challenge, or like maybe instead of giveaways, maybe think of doing challenges. Like I did a challenge and it was literally name as many boy bands as you can. Do boy bands have anything to do with my brand? No. Do I like boy bands? And no. But it was just a fun thing to just connect with the people on the other side of that screen. And that's what I think a lot of you guys sometimes struggle with the idea of, is that you're thinking in a very linear fashion. I want to post this and get an order for this. That does happen and it can happen, but that linear thinking only happens when you have already built that connection, that profile, again, that know, like, and trust with your audience on that particular platform. That doesn't happen quickly. And that's what I get a lot of people who are like, I'm getting nothing on socials at all. And then I go onto their profile and it's like, look at my new Etsy make, look at my new, and it's just like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you like. I don't really connect with you. I don't know your brand story. I am not really finding out any more information than I would do if I just went straight to your Etsy shop. And that is something that's really important. That is something that Threads just is allowing you to do. Right, one last question. Can you schedule posts? Currently, not that I've seen, although no doubt, because it's such a simplified platform, I would predict that probably the big ones like Later or Hootsuite or Smart Scheduler or something like that, they are all going to come out with a tool for you to schedule because it's such a simple platform. It's a very simple text-based thing. I reckon probably within the next month, they will give you the ability to schedule threads. But right now, revel in it. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy people being their true selves. And my last kind of thought on this is that there has been a lot of you guys that have joined me over on Threads. And there are people that I have seen pop up on my lives for a year, 18 months, 2 years. And let me tell you that I found out more about the people that I have been connecting with every single Monday or every single Friday for the last 18 months to 2 years. And I've learned more about that human being behind the screen in the 4 or 5 days that I've had Threads, more so than 18 months to 2 years that I've been following them on Instagram, or they've been in the Facebook group, or so that is the kind of parting thought that I want to leave you guys with. Is it going to be the be all and end all of it? No, it's not. No. But if you are suited to that style of social, that style of home hub building, then it might be worth starting to draft out some threads. Do like a month or two, like literally write them out so that all you have to do is copy and paste them, copy and paste them, like make it easy on yourself. And it might be worth giving it a go. So if you want to come and follow me, I'm posting loads of content ideas on Threads. So you can like steal my content ideas. That's what I'm here for. Steal my content ideas. I am not bothered. So yeah, I'm doing Threads. I'm going to try to do them 3 to 5 times a day. Obviously, Mondays for me are absolute manic. But over the weekend, I was posting like probably 5 to 7 times a day, and it was like just easy. But I'm also posting Threads tips on Threads as well, like content ideas, things I'm finding out, tests that I'm running, and all that kind of stuff. So if that sounds good, then come and give me a little cheeky follow on Threads. DM me on Instagram, or send me a thread or tag me in a thread if you enjoyed this and if you have any questions. But for now, my lovelies, I will catch you all the same time next week for another Monday Momentum Live.